Hello everyone, Alex here. It's such a joy to be back on my channel. Every time I turn on the camera, I can truly feel your support and companionship, and that gives me so much motivation. Today, I want to share with you a very special moment in my life. As many of you know, Tuna has always been the woman I cherish most and the one I've given my whole heart to. That's why I've secretly prepared a surprise birthday party just for her. But I'm not stopping there. I've decided to propose to her once again. I know that last time might not have been enough for her to say yes, but my love and faith have never faded. I believe that everything we've been through, thought about, and understood together has brought us closer than ever. Will Tuna this time take my hand and walk with me into the future? Or will she still need more time to decide I'm truly nervous? And I want you to be right here with me to witness her answer. So don't look away. Let's live this special moment together right now. This morning, I woke up early with one thought in mind. Finish all my tasks quickly so I could save the rest of the day for something truly meaningful. I worked with unusual focus and urgency, almost as if a hidden energy was pushing me forward. Every checkmark on my to-do list felt like one step closer to what I was really waiting for. As soon as I was done, I headed straight to Tuna's farm. The road so familiar to me somehow felt different today. My heart was racing, my excitement building with every passing turn. I couldn't wait to see her smile, to hear her gentle voice, and above all, to share a piece of the surprise I had been secretly planning. When I arrived, I called out loudly, "Tuna!" Almost instantly, she appeared from the kitchen, holding a pot in her hands. Steam curled from the lid, proof she had just been about to cook lunch. The sight made me smile, so simple, yet so full of warmth. "Oh, Alex, you're here already," she said with surprise and delight. "What are you doing?" I asked, unable to look away from her familiar figure. "I was just about to cook," she answered softly. "Come in and sit down, Alex." Before I could reply, she quickly set the pot aside and hurried off to get me some water. That small gesture struck me deeply. Tuna's care doesn't need grand words or dramatic acts. In those little details, I could feel her genuine affection. And in that very moment, I knew even more clearly the plan I carried with me today wasn't just a hope. It could become a turning point in our story. As I stepped into the house, the first words out of my mouth were almost instinctive. "Where's the baby too?" Na turned to me, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear, her voice soft. "I just put him down for a nap, Alex." "But why are you here at this hour?" She had every right to be curious. It wasn't often that I showed up in the middle of the day without notice, but today I had a plan. I smiled and answered with a hint of excitement in my tone. "Today, I want to take you somewhere special. Go get ready, we'll bring little Henry along too." Her brows lifted in surprise. Somewhere. Where exactly? And what about Henry? I still need to watch him. I stepped closer, lowering my voice as if revealing a secret. "It's a place I can't tell you about just yet, but I promise it's worth it. And don't worry about Henry. I already asked my mom. She's free today, and was thrilled when I told her. She said she misses him so much." Tuna hesitated, biting her lip, her concern evident. "Are you sure it won't trouble her?" I shook my head firmly. "Not at all." She was genuinely happy to help. She insisted, actually. "So please don't worry. Just grab your things, we should go." For a few seconds, she stood there in silence. I could see the tug of war in her heart, her instinct to stay by Henry's side, and her curiosity about where I might be taking her. I didn't press further. Instead, I waited, letting her see in my eyes how much this moment meant to me. Finally, she exhaled softly, a faint smile playing at her lips. "All right then. Give me a moment to get ready." Relief and excitement flooded through me. Convincing her hadn't been easy, but she had agreed, and that was enough. As she disappeared into the next room, I glanced toward Henry's crib. He slept so peacefully, unaware of the quiet storm of emotions swirling around us. In that instant, I knew with certainty today was not just about an outing. It was about trust, about love, and about taking one step closer to the future I had always dreamed of with Tuna by my side. When we arrived back home, I asked my mom to look after baby Henry. She agreed happily, her face lighting up with joy at the thought of spending more time with her grandson. That gave me a sense of relief. My plan was falling perfectly into place. With everything settled, I took Tuna with me to begin the journey to the secret location I had carefully prepared for her birthday. The road ahead felt alive with excitement. The hum of the engine, the wind brushing against the car windows, and the quiet anticipation in my chest all blended together. I knew this was going to be a day neither of us would ever forget. Halfway there, I suddenly turned onto a smaller street and stopped in front of a cozy clothing boutique. Tuna looked at me, her brows furrowed in surprise. "Alex, why are we stopping here?" I smiled and answered gently, "Because I want to give you a gift. Today is special, and I think you deserve something new." Her cheeks flushed slightly as she whispered, "But that's not necessary." Ignoring her modest hesitation, I took her hand and led her inside. The store glowed warmly with racks of colors and fabrics lining the walls. After scanning through the selections, my eyes landed on a simple yet elegant white blouse. I picked it up and handed it to her. "This would look perfect on you," I said softly. Tuna held it delicately, her eyes unsure as she asked, "Do you really think it looks good?" Without hesitation, I nodded. "Beautiful. You'll look even more radiant in it. Why don't you choose another one or two as well?" She let out a quiet laugh, shaking her head. "No, this one is enough. I don't need more." Her simplicity moved me deeply. To her, less was always more, and that very quality made me want to give her everything I could. At the counter, the cashier smiled warmly when she heard it was a birthday gift. I squeezed Tuna's hand, gently cherishing the warmth I felt in that moment. These weren't just small gestures. They were threads weaving our story together. With the gift in hand, we stepped back outside and continued toward our destination. The place I had prepared wasn't just about decorations or surprises. It was about creating a memory she would carry forever. And as I glanced at her beside me, I knew with certainty this was only the beginning of something greater for us. I still remember that moment vividly, the way Tuna walked slowly into the elegant room, her eyes filled with wonder. Warm golden lights cascaded over a long dining table covered with a crisp white cloth, adorned with dishes I knew she had never tried before. She paused, glancing at me with a mix of surprise and hesitation, her gaze as clear and fragile as glass. "Why did you bring me to such a fancy place?" she asked softly, almost as if she feared disturbing the fragile magic surrounding us. I smiled gently, taking the bag from her hands. "Just come in. Tonight I only wanted to invite you to a proper dinner." We stepped forward together. The moment her eyes landed on the table, she gasped, her lips parting without words. I could see more than surprise in her expression. There was a quiet unease, the kind carried by someone unaccustomed to such abundance. Why did you order so many dishes?" she asked, her voice trembling slightly. I pulled out a chair for her, my tone tender. "Because today is special, and I wanted to give you the very best." Her brows furrowed as if searching her memory. "Special? What day is it?" Looking straight into her eyes, I answered with a smile that concealed a pang in my chest. "Don't you remember? Today is your birthday." For a moment, she froze. Her eyes blinked rapidly, and I noticed her hands tighten beneath the table. My birthday? But how do you even know that I didn't even remember it myself? I reached across the table and held her hand gently. "Back when I took you to the hospital to deliver little Henry, your date of birth was written clearly on the papers. I kept it in my heart. And tonight, I want you to know. Even if you never thought much about birthdays before, from now on, I'll remember for you." She turned away, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. Her voice quivered. "You've surprised me so much. I've never really known what a birthday even meant. It always felt so distant from me." I tightened my hold, speaking softly. "Don't dwell on the past. Let me help you start new memories. From now on, your birthday won't just mark the day you were born. It will be the day you are truly cherished." She said nothing more, only gave me a small nod. And in that moment, the light in her eyes outshone every chandelier in the room. I knew I had made the right choice, turning an ordinary day into something unforgettable. And silently, I made a promise to myself. This was only the beginning. There would be many more surprises, many more moments of joy waiting for her and little Henry. Just as Tuna wiped the corner of her eyes, the lights in the room dimmed slightly. A soft melody began to play in the background. She looked around, startled, but before she could ask, the staff walked in carrying a cake glowing with tiny candles. Her lips parted in shock. A birthday cake. For me, I stood up, walked to her side, and carefully set the cake in front of her. The candles flickered gently, casting a warm glow across her face. For a moment, she just stared, as if she couldn't believe this was really happening. "Make a wish," I whispered. Her eyes trembled, and she closed them briefly before blowing out the candles. The room seemed to fall completely silent. That was the moment I reached into my jacket pocket, feeling the small velvet box that had been burning in my hand all night. I lowered myself down on one knee right there beside her. When she opened her eyes again, she gasped, covering her mouth with both hands. "Alex." I looked up at her, my heart pounding louder than any music in the room. "Tuna, you've given me the greatest gift, Henry, and the chance to build a life together. Tonight, I don't just want to celebrate your birthday. I want to ask you, will you let me spend every one of your birthdays by your side?" I opened the box, revealing the ring sparkling under the soft light. Tears spilled down her cheeks, and she shook her head in disbelief. I don't know what to say. "Just say yes," I whispered, my voice trembling but firm. Say yes and let me love you the way you've always deserved to be loved. For a heartbeat, time seemed to freeze. Then through her tears, she nodded. Yes. Yes, Alex. The room erupted in gentle applause from the staff who had lingered at the doorway. But I only saw her. I slipped the ring onto her finger, kissed her hand, and felt her lean into me, whispering through tears, "This is the first birthday I'll never forget." And I silently promised it would only be the first of many.
Bận rộn ở chợ khi những sọt hàng được bán hết sạch, tôi cảm thấy lòng mình nhẹ nhõm. Thay vì vội vàng quay về nhà như thường lệ, tôi quyết định tự thưởng cho bản thân một thứ gì đó. Bước chân tôi dừng lại một quầy quần áo, nơi những chiếc áo mới đủ sắc màu treo lấp lánh dưới ánh sáng của ánh nắng buổi trưa. Tôi chợt nghĩ đã lâu rồi mình chưa mua cho bản thân một món đồ nào. Có lẽ bây giờ nên thay đổi, để khi đi làm nhìn tươi tắn, tự tin hơn. Thế là Tuna bắt đầu ngắm nghía vuốt ve từng mớ thớ vải, tưởng tượng mình trong dáng vẻ tươi mới hơn. Rời quầy quần áo người lớn, Tuna bắt đầu bước vào khu quần áo trẻ em. Nhìn những bộ đồ nhỏ xinh được treo ngay ngắn, trong lòng tôi đã dâng lên những niềm yêu thương. Nhớ Henry, con trai bé bỏng của tôi bắt đầu lựa chọn từng chiếc áo, từng chiếc quần vừa lượn vừa hình dung gương mặt rạng rỡ khi con được mặc những bộ quần áo mới đó. Có lẽ niềm vui của con chính là phần thưởng quý giá nhất